Ready? Andrew from the election office, do you like to lead us in Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners. It's December 23rd, 2019. And on my right is Commissioner Kevin Cook, who represents District 2, and on my left is Aaron Mays, who represents District 3, and I'm Bill Rippon, and I represent District 1. We have two items we need to pull off the agenda this morning. We're pulling C3 and G1. Okay.
You mean C2 or?
Um,
C1. Oh, is it C1?
You're right. C1. Yeah, there is no C3. C1 and G1. Okay. What's our first item?
Proclamations, presentations. Number 1, quarterly report on Grace Med. Alice Weingartner, Director of Community Development, Grace Med.
Good morning, Commissioners. Alice Weingartner with Grace Med. It's a pleasure to see you on this eve of Christmas Eve. So attached is our third quarter report for 2019. As noted, the report reflects 2,500 unduplicated patients were seen during this quarter compared to 3,914 last year. Part of that difference has to do with patients coming in, and when I say last year, I actually meant second quarter. Patients are only counted once as unduplicated, and so once they're seen, we don't continue to see a lot of new patients, but we see a lot of repeat patients. And so that's why that number typically doesn't increase as the year goes on so much. We are on track to see a record number of unduplicated patients this year, with over 11,000 patients already having been seen since January. I would say, if my memory serves me correctly, the most we ever saw as Shawnee County Community Health Center was about 7,000 or 8,000 patients. So we definitely are seeing progress since this transition took place in July of 2016. A big part of why we've seen such a significant increase is because of our oral health outreach program. We are now in over 40 schools in the district and in the county, and we'll continue to work to make that grow too. March 3rd of 2020, we will be having our second Hotcakes for Hope Care here in Topeka. We're excited that the three of you have agreed to be servers, celebrity servers. For those of you that it's your first time, it's not hard. So, and you will be given an apron to wear so that you won't get your clothes messed up. We do have a holiday schedule that's taking place. We will be closing this afternoon at lunch for our staff Christmas luncheon, and we'll be closed the rest of the day, and then we'll be closed Tuesday and Wednesday, and we'll reopen on Thursday for services at both of our clinic locations. I do want to thank you for your continued support of Grace Med and for the work you do to help keep our community safe and healthy, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Are you at full staff at this point, or?
We are not at full staff. We do anticipate having 2 providers start shortly after the first of the year, and we know that we still have space to continue to add providers. We have space to add 2 more dentists. I know that we're actively looking to recruit a 3rd, but we won't be fully staffed until we continue to see those numbers go up, since we want our patient panels to be full for each of the providers. I think provider-wise, we probably have room for anywhere from 4 to 5 more providers. And again, that just takes time as the services continue to be used.
Well, thank you, Alice.
Thank you.
Next item.
Number 2, McCown Gordon progress update on the Stormont Vale Event Center renovations.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Kraus, Shawnee County Counselor. I want to introduce Todd Ramsey, who's the Senior Project Manager on the project, and John Armour, who's the Senior Project Engineer, both from McCown and Gordon. They're going to give you a brief update on the progress of the project. Thank you. Let me see if I can't.
Good morning, Commissioners. Todd Ramsey, McCown Gordon Construction. Appreciate the opportunity. Just wanted to come in and give you a progress update on the new Stormont Vale Event Center project. So thought I'd go through that and kind of just let you know what we've been up to, let know the public how things are going out there. So what I'm going to do is kind of go down through a lot of the different buildings we're working through. We'll show you some pictures for the new seating, end zone bar, a lot of this suite concession bathroom renovations, locker room renovations in the main entry for Landon entry, and then we'll talk about Expo Hall also. So Landon Arena, we started out and we have already completed all the new arena seating is completely replaced. We completed that back in 2019, and also all the new state-of-the-art lighting is completed with scenes and everything in there. So it was a big, here's the picture of all the new seating. It was big to get all that done as soon as possible to get all the old seating and all the new seating throughout. And then also in Landon Arena, we completed the end zone bar. We had it ready for them for their big demolition derby in early November. So that was a huge success for Spectra and for them. This just shows you a couple pictures of what it looks like with the bar area there, and then looking back up where you have all the low seating with high top tables and everything in there. So it turned out very nice. And also the Landon Arena, the suites, concessions, and bathrooms, we will actually have all the suites renovated. We turned over one suite back in August to September, and then now we're turning all the remaining suites. We'll have those completely finished, turning those over this week to Spectra, that they'll be completely done. And then 5 of the concession areas are already completed. And we keep on doing bathroom renovations ongoing throughout, working around Spectra events. And Spectra's been very good to work with as far as working in and around their events. So you can see this is what one of the new suites looks like. There's 4 total suites that we've renovated with all new, also arena seating up here with casework and everything there. So that turned out very nice. This is the front of a concession areas there. We completed all that with new transaction and handicap accessible spot there. And then the bathrooms, we've went and completely redone all those. There was a request to see what to do the flooring. That's what it was going to, existing flooring was going to be. And then we upgraded to put now all the new resinous epoxy flooring that really dressed up and is pretty much a maintenance-free product. So it turned out very nice in those restrooms. Locker room renovations, we turned over, we actually completed locker rooms 3 and 4 for the Topeka Pilots. Turned that over in August to them. And then the new locker rooms down there that we're working on right now, those will be done next month. And then once hockey season's over, we will go into the other the locker rooms 1 and 2, start the renovations of that. That just kind of shows you what we did in the Topeka Pilots. All new flooring, paint, and putting new lockers throughout. Landon Arena, the main entry expansion. So we have to do that in 2 phases. The phase 1 stair tower entrance, we'll turn that over to them here in a couple weeks. And then once that is over, we will be shutting down the main entrance to Landon Arena starting next month, and that will be done this coming October. To get that done. This kind of shows you where phase 1 stair tower will be taking the scaffolding down, and they'll have emergency egress and exiting out of there. And then this will all, of course, be torn out and be working on construction for that main entry expansion. Expo Hall, building addition, of course, we've been starting on that. That is scheduled to be done this coming September also. Where we're adding about almost 40,000 square feet to Expo Hall. As you can see, the steel's going up. as we're continuing across through there. We had to blow out the back end of Expo Hall, and this is a temporary, permanent wall that still allows them to have all their events scheduled in Expo Hall without missing any of those. And then that's just more steel going up. We'll complete the main structure of this steel in the next week, so we can get in here and start doing underground roughing and start getting utilities in for that. Any questions for me as far as progress before I turn it over to John? Any? Yes.
Just a question on your timeline. How do you feel like you're doing on your schedule?
We're doing fine. We're actually on our head of schedule. Inspector's been really great to work with. We've actually are turning over spaces sooner than what we originally had on our original schedule. So they've been really good to work with in and around events, giving us other areas to complete. So we're actually right on, or actually beating our schedule right now in areas. So I'll turn it over to John Armour.
Good morning, I'm John Armour. I'm senior project engineer on it, and one of my focuses is primarily financials, change orders, managing the budget. So obviously it's one of the bigger concerns, especially on a public project like this. And so one of the things that's fairly rare that we've realized on this project so far is we're sitting very well budget-wise. So far, most of the owner contingency spending is on scope enhancements. So we've sat down, and Jim and Dean and I, we look and we forecast and get the whole project team together, and we look and try to identify any problems that we might run into or think we'll run into, and then we set aside money or at least forecast those expenditures and try to prevent surprises. And so with forecasting all that out, we feel really comfortable with where we're at, and that's why we thought it was a great idea to go ahead and get that residence flowing. We knew the contractors were going to be in there doing the work. It's going to be the best time to do it. Same thing with the wireless access that we were able to get. I think that was an excellent investment, especially since the other trades were going to be in there doing that work. So we have an unusual situation where I feel more comfortable with this budget than I've felt on any other previous project. And so I really think that moving forward, we're going to be able to realize a lot more scope enhancements, a lot more things that we initially didn't think we'd get, but not to overpromise. You know, there's still a long ways to go, but so far everything's looking great. It's sitting well. Financially, we're on track, and we're very comfortable with where we're sitting. So that's not typical, especially on public project where you tend to try to scale back a lot of things. So we've been very lucky so far. I mean, I think we've got 3 change orders, and we're almost 7 months or more than 7 months into the project. So that's also unusual. And the bulk of that's been for once that we've been able to add into the project. So I've been really happy with how everything's going. I hope you guys feel the same. If you got any questions, I also didn't want to I wanted to keep it mostly high level, but I threw my cell phone number on there if anybody ever wants to sit down and look at anything in more detail, or if they have any questions, or mostly if they have any concerns. That would probably be the biggest one that I'd want to address immediately. So if anybody ever has anything that they want to talk about more, or sit down and look at, give me a shout. I'll come over and meet with you whenever works best for any of you, and make sure that everybody's as comfortable as I am on this one. So does anybody have any questions?
Another question maybe for Todd. Have you put in any of the new lighting?
Yes, all the Landon Arena lighting is completed. Actually, last week, we had the manufacturer's rep on site doing the owner training as far as the scenes, the different type of scenes that they're gonna have to get those set up. So yeah, the main arena lighting is done. Now the expo lighting won't be done until we towards this fall, when we turn over the new expo hall and then the existing expo hall together at the same time.
Can you talk a little bit about the scene lighting?
Well, so it's an Ephesus sports lighting where it has different, colors, how it goes on and off as far as scene setting on, because Spectre had met with them on kind of how they wanted to set up scenes for, when they have Cirque du Soleil or Disney on Ice or anything like that. They set up those, they've already set those scenes up for that, so.
Thanks very much. I think people of Shawnee County are gonna be really pleased with the new improvements and new lighting, new sound systems, restroom improvements.
Right.
It's gonna be a welcome change. So, looking forward to getting it all
Yes, so we.
wrapped up and put a bow on it. Any other questions?
No.
Okay.
Hi.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Todd. Thank you, John.
If I could just say one more thing to wrap up this. Zach Sneathen with HTK Architects is here, and Dean Farrell is working with us as a consultant on the project. Together, I just couldn't be more pleased with the project, how this project is moving along. I heard a saying a long time ago, don't spike the ball on the 20-yard line. I think that's where we're at, but we're happy with our project. We're happy with how it's going. We hired McCown Gordon to be a construction manager, and they're doing an excellent job managing this project, and we're just all very excited for the opportunity to work on it. So I would invite anyone to come out and take a look at what's going on out there. I think you'll be very surprised and pleased with what you're going to find. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Zach. And Dean, thank you for all your efforts on this project. Next item.
Item 3, consent agenda.
I'd move to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item 4, new business. A, County Clerk. Number 1, consider all voucher payments.
We have vouchers that total $1,131,268.16. The highlights out of the voucher report, health insurance premiums of $262, $547 and 33 cents. We did have with game time through the building and maintenance as well as equipment fund, $308,343.20 for playground equipment on 11 parks. We also had the 911 telephone voice products, $72,300 for voice logger maintenance. Department of Corrections for Aramark was $105,256.64. And under the bridge, Finley and turnip seed, $60,000, which is for construction inspection of the 29th Street Bridge over Deer Creek. I do not have any questions. Would move for their approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Number 2, consider correction orders.
I would move that we approve the correction orders.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item 3, consider authorization and execution of contract C-486, 2019 with Willis of Greater Kansas, Inc. for Shawnee County's 2020 insurance coverage. And Brian Haston and Jan Mason from Willis are in the audience if you have any questions.
I don't have any questions, and
I don't either.
pleased with Willis, and so I move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Thank you. Next item.
Item B, Counselor. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-477, 2019 with the Community Resources Council, allocating $30,000 to provide administrative services and support for the Shawnee County Advocacy Council on Aging in 2020.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Crow, Shawnee County Counselor. Each year, the Board of County Commissioners, during the budget process for the next year, determines various social service allocations. These contracts then are written, and then we enter into these contracts for the next year. So there are 5 of these, each of the 5 items with each of the entities listed. And I can tell you, technically, these contracts are identical to what we had last year, except for the dates and the numbers involved in the allocations. I'll be happy to try to answer any questions you might have over any of these items.
Any questions?
Move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Number 2, consider authorization and execution of contract C-478, 2019 with the Community Resources Council, allocating $35,065 to provide social services to the residents of Shawnee County in 2020.
I would move that we approve.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Number 3, consider authorization and execution of contract C-479, 2019 with Harvesters, the Community Food Network, allocating $10,000 to provide certain specified social services to the residents of Shawnee County in 2020.
Questions?
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Number 4, consider authorization and execution of contract C-480, 2019 with TARC Inc., allocating $996,344 for the provision of certain specified social services to the residents of Shawnee County in 2020.
Discussion.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Number 5, consider authorization and execution of contract C-481, 2019 with Helping Hands Humane Society, allocating $130,000 to shelter, feed, and to the extent necessary, dispose of stray dogs, cats, and...
All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. And Jane would be thrilled if she was here.
Thank you.
Next item.
Item C, Health Department. Number 1 has been pulled. Number 2, consider approval of a request to fill an Office Assistant 2 position in the Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children at a salary including benefits of $41,080, and approval to fill any position that becomes vacant as a result of filling this position.
Good morning, Commissioners. Linda Oaks from the Health Department. Due to a resignation, we are asking to fill this Office Assistant 2 position in our very busy WIC clinic. In 2018, we saw almost 6,000 people in Shawnee, Osage, and Wabunsee counties. And if you remember, WIC is a nutrition education program. We provide nutrition education, referrals to social services, and a prescribed food package to pregnant women, infants, and children up to the age of 5. And this is included in our 2020 budget, and it is paid entirely by the WIC grant. So I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions?
Move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Next item.
Item D, Information Technology. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-483, 2019, and an amendment to contract C-404, 2018 with Software House International for the purchase and installation of a Nutanix hyper-converged infrastructure computing platform and ancillary software licenses at a cost not to exceed $474,242, with $164,242 in funding from the IT 2019 budget, $160,000 in funding from the Sheriff's Office 2019 budget, and $150,000 from the 2020 capital outlay budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Pat Obinder with the Information Technology Department. Back in 12/10 of 2018, we purchased our first Nutanix platform, our large computer system that houses our virtual implementations of many servers that are used throughout the county departments. We are at the point now, after having done an RFP for a second platform and negotiating with a vendor for purchase of the same, to put together a project budget to fund that. Basically, what we're looking for is a permission from the commissioners to purchase the platform from Software House International for a purchase price of $418,242. Along with that, we also need to purchase 2,000 Windows 2019 user client access licenses that are required as a result of implementing the Windows Server 2019 data center. So we'd like to have that added to our list of requests for today. We'd like to purchase that at a price of $56,000 from state contract pricing, for a grand total of $474,242. Without Cindy here, I'm a mess. But I do have an error on my my memo that I put in for to get on the agenda. On the last paragraph, it still states an incorrect amount that was going to be contributed by the IT department to fund this project. That dollar amount was what we had figured in before we found out about a VMware pricing reduction that we were able to get as part of the negotiations for the purchase of the platform. Listed on there is $197,446. That price is actually $164,242. So for putting together the project budget, we would need a grand total of $357,446, comprised of the $160,000 amount from the sheriff's office and from the IT department, $164,242. That's what we would put together for the project budget, and then that would be carried over into 2020 to be added to the $150,000 from the capital outlay budget. So a lot of moving parts in putting together this purchase. But fundamentally what we're trying to do is put together a virtualization platform that will be running all of the public safety servers on. These would be including the servers for the New World platform that the Sheriff's Office uses, the Department of Corrections, the Topeka PD, and we also want to put on there the service for the DA's office. So all of those that have special restrictions on them as far as CJIS requirements all have to reside on that platform separately. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those, but I think that is our laundry list of requests for this platform.
Questions, discussion? Yes.
Just a minute. Betty Griner, Director of Administrative Services. Just to make the request clear, we're requesting for the two items that will come out of the 2019 budget, the $164,242 from IT and $160,000 from the sheriffs. We're asking to transfer those amounts from their 2019 budgets into a project fund. And then the other would come from the 2020 capital outlay, which you've already approved, but wouldn't be spent till 2020, of course.
I'll move for the establishment of the project fund and as well as the amended amounts.
I'll second that. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you very much, Pat. Next item.
Item E, Corrections, number 1. Consider authorization and execution of Contract C-484, 2019, an agreement with the City of Topeka to provide one inmate work crew and one correctional officer to assist in the Topeka Infrastructure Improvement and Code Compliance Program.
Good morning, Commissioners. Eve Kendall, Department of Corrections. I'm here to ask for the renewal of the contract with the city, between the city and the Department of Corrections. This is for the inmate labor that goes out and helps clean up the city and do some code compliance things. It all just depends on what the city's needing done with the inmates. This provides for one officer and the inmates that will be doing the majority of the work. We've been doing this for many years, and this renewal will mean that there will be no funding from the county for this. The city is being able to reimburse us for all expenses. So I'm here to answer any questions for you.
Questions?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner May, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Eve.
Thank you.
Next item.
Item F, Elections, number 1. Consider approval of request to utilize $46,500 from the 2019 budget to fund parking lot improvements, security improvements, and IT Elvis expenses.
Morning, Commissioners. Andrew Howell, Shawnee County Election Commissioner. Request today is to transfer, talking to Betty, we need to transfer the $46,500 to a project fund from the 2019 budget. The list of items is parking lot improvements. Our parking lot lights have some issues that need to be dealt with just for safety. Also going into presidential, we think it's important to kind of pay attention to some of the lighting issues. Additionally, we'd like to put a comfort trailer electrical hookup in place. We've needed that several times when we've had some plumbing issues in the building. And additionally, we've got a mechanical gate operator we would like to put in place. Part of the repair that we did to the parking lot, we would like to preserve that, so we've moved the trash dumpster out of that parking lot to keep from destroying that parking lot going forward, and we need a gate to be able to access that new location. Additional security cameras, a monitored alarm system, and then our Elvis annual fees. So I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions?
I move to approve.
Second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Andrew.
Thanks.
Next item.
Item G, Facilities Maintenance, has been pulled. Item H, Administrative Services, number 1, consider approval of the request for 2020 memberships, dues, and subscriptions in a total amount for all departments of $216,496.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jennifer Sauer, Audit Finance. I'm presenting to you today for your approval the listing of all of the 2020 memberships, dues, and subscriptions that were submitted by the departments with their annual budget. They then reviewed them, evaluated them, and created a final audited list for your presentation, or for presentation to you today. So we're just seeking your approval for those for next year.
Any questions? I'll move that we approve.
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Next item.
Item I, Commission, number 1, reflect reappointment of Randall Phillips to the 3rd Judicial Nominating Commission for a term ending February 28th, 2024.
Commissioners, Randy has been my appointee. He finished is finishing an unexpired term, and I'm very pleased with the progress that he's made with the nominating commission and nominating him for a 4-year term.
How long is the term?
4 years.
4 years.
Is that a motion?
This motion?
Second.
All right. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item 5, Administrative Communications.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dusty Nichols, Emergency Management. Yesterday, about 11:50, Shawnee County got a surprise. The sirens went off, the outdoor warning system. So first things first, I want to apologize for anybody that caused a panic too. It was completely unintentional. The reasons behind it, I'll go into here in just a second. But I would just want to make sure that please have confidence in the system. We definitely do. And it works, obviously. It works. And by my email and phone calls, people hear it and they respond. So that's good. So with that, what had happened was dispatchers are getting trained on the system. They are the backup to sound that alarm should something go on, should something happen. So we are the primaries. They were training a new dispatcher over there, and quite frankly, it was just a human error. We went back and reviewed the training situation and how they go about training their dispatchers. We are putting our training person with them to develop a new training program so this does not happen again. So I did want to thank, while I'm talking about dispatch, I do want to thank them. They do an excellent job in backing us up, because when these storms happen, we get spread out real fast and we're trying to cover a lot of information. So dispatch has always been there for us, and we thank them for training their people on that system and coordinating and cooperating with us. So Caleb's right here too, so thanks, Caleb, for being behind me. Anyway, I just wanted to make sure everybody understood what happened. So
Okay, thank you, Dusty.
Morning, Commissioners. Captain Caleb Acree, Shawnee County Sheriff's Office. Last week, we brought up a couple retirements that were pending and have subsequently occurred with the Sheriff's Office. And during that time, I was remiss in one of our other employees that is in the process of retiring, K-9 Bolt. We intend to retire him. K-9 Bolt started with the Sheriff's Office in 2009. He has been one of our patrol K-9s for the last 10 years. During that 10-year estimated stats off of K-9 Bolt, roughly $100,000 in drug currency seized, 200 pounds of illegal narcotics seized, and has assisted with over 56 felony apprehensions. So with all that, 2 years ago, if you remember, there was a horrific accident on I-70 with one of our K-9 units, vehicles that were broadsided along the interstate. That was K-9 Bolt. So he had worked back through those injuries, but unfortunately the time has come where he retires. So it will be our intent to retire him, and you will probably have a memo coming up requesting transfer of ownership to the handler. So I wanted to bring attention to his retirement as well. Thank you.
How old is K-9 Bolt?
Roughly about 10 to 12. When we first get these dogs, we're not really sure of their age. We know they're within 2 years, so he's had his lifespan of working. He's had a very rewarding career, and time has come where he just is allowed to enjoy life.
Very good.
Thank you.
Anyone else? And we invite the public to speak on any subject if they are here to speak on anything. Okay, well, Commissioner Cook, Commissioner Mays.
Merry Christmas.
Well, I have kind of a Merry Christmas, I guess, I don't know what you call this, it's kind of a good Christmas story. I got a letter the other day, it was from just an anonymous person here. It says, "To whom it may concern, I'm in a 12-step program and currently making some financial amends. Many years ago, I took one of the ash cans in front of the courthouse. Please find $75 enclosed for reimbursement." And Betty, I'll entrust you with this $75, but I thought that's a kind of a good little Christmas story to end things with. We have no need for executive session, so we're adjourned. Who knew? That is a good story.